Hello guys, Kachuba back with another video. Just want to talk quickly about what's been happening in Johannesburg, right? With Kunene being the acting mayor, while let's call it the real mayor, I don't know where he is, but for some reason Kunene is the acting mayor. This guy is working hard on this issue of illegal immigrants in these hijacked buildings in the Johannesburg CBD, right? So I'm very happy about this, extremely happy about this, in fact. So this is one of the issues that I believe is one of the biggest problems in South Africa: illegal immigration, and the fact that we've got these hijacked buildings in the inner cities of our cities, right? So I'm one of the people who feel so hard done by the fact that I never really got to enjoy places like Hillbrow, because I know so many older white men who told me how amazing places like Hillbrow were back in the day, simply because of this rubbish that is happening in places like Hillbrow and in Durban and so on. When I was studying in Pretoria, Pretoria to this day is way more better than Johannesburg is. I know some like comparing Sunnyside to Hillbrow, but Sunnyside is still better than Hillbrow, especially around the time I was there as a student, right? But anyway, to get back to Kunene and what he's doing, right? I've been watching some of his videos. They are going into these buildings. Using his words, he says basically these places are squatter camps within buildings. And you can see it in the videos, right? Basically, in all of these floors, they've basically sectioned off parts of the floor, and every person has built him or herself a little shack-like thing, right, where they stay. Totally unsafe. There are small kids in there. It is, like you can see some of the people going in there. I'm talking about the officials of the city of Johannesburg. They've got masks on and so on, because they know, they're asking themselves, I mean, what could you be breathing in there? Is it good for you? And guys, if you look at the videos, just go on social media and see some of the stuff, right? It's even shocking that human beings live in these type of places. And that's one of the things that I could never understand. Why are some of these people that come from these countries up north, why are they so comfortable with living in such dirt? I never understood that. Right. To be honest, some black South Africans are also okay with living in dirty, weird places. But there's levels to this, bro. Like, there's a certain level of dirt that black South Africans will never accept. But some of these people from the north, guys, wow, it's shocking to see how they are okay with living with certain types of conditions. Right. So there's that. Then he spoke about how they want to, as the government, expropriate the buildings that don't have owners anymore, because apparently some of these owners have died, or some of them have moved to other countries. Some of them are in South Africa, but they are being threatened by certain syndicates that collect rent from people who live in these buildings. You understand? So that's the other big problem. A lot of the landowners are scared. The landlords, sorry, are scared to come back and say to the tenants, listen, this is actually my building. Because there's someone who's probably making a lot of money. They named amounts. They said around 120,000 rand a month, around there, that syndicates can make on some of these buildings just collecting rent, right? He even said that that's why every 3 to 4 months, the guy who's collecting that amount of money will probably be found dead, because someone else, right, will want that from him. You see, so these syndicates are busy killing each other over this rent money. And they were talking about how the city of Johannesburg is being denied all of that money. Because remember, you have the rent, right? But then you have rates, and there's many other things that a building would pay: electricity, water, all of these things. So the city is being denied a lot of revenue collection. And when the city is not getting enough revenue collection, obviously the city can't then in turn provide services, you see, and service delivery is down and that sort of thing, right? I really love Johannesburg. It's my favorite city in South Africa, and I really wish to see it rise again. But again, guys, this is all because of the biggest party in the government of national unity. We all have to remember that, and we all have to remember when election time comes around, we all need to do the right thing. But I'm confident because life is about trends, and the trend, right? If you look at the previous election and the elections before that, they are on the decline. And there's absolutely nothing, or there's very little that they can do to bring themselves back. Very little to nothing they can do to bring themselves back. So I'm happy with that. I'm just hoping it happens faster. That's what I wish. For them to move from that 40% straight to 20%. That's my hope. Or even less, if that's possible. But that will happen. People are frustrated. Very frustrated. And the thing is this about South Africans. South Africans are used to living decently. I don't want to say well, acting as if everyone has money and so on, but we're used to living decently. And the governing party is taking us to a place where we're not used to as majority of South Africans. And we're very uncomfortable. And in that discomfort, that's when those bonds with the ANC will be broken. Those bonds that they always hold us to, that they are the ones that liberated us, and that's the opportunity for them to get broken, right? And it's happening in real time. Some of us love it. You know, I've made a video before where I talk about how I'm happy that the MK is practically getting destroyed as well. You understand? But the next best thing to the MK getting destroyed is the ANC itself getting destroyed. You see, because they are bad for South Africa. The future of South Africa is without the ANC. The thing that we just need to watch out for is the same people that were in the ANC showing up in different parties now. And then us thinking that just because the name of the party has changed, that is different people. That's why I don't like the MK. That's why I don't like the EFF. You see? So the key thing is to get rid of the people in the ANC. Get them out of politics. Totally out. Back to illegal immigrants. Kenny was talking about how some people will produce a passport when they ask them to produce one, right? But someone from Tanzania and someone from Zimbabwe will have the same type of stamp on their passports, which is not allowed, which is not supposed to be the case, because these people are coming from different places, right? You see, so there's someone who is stamping these people's passports illegally, essentially. Because these people have to go back home every 3 months, or go back to the border every 3 months, if I'm not mistaken, to get their passport stamped and all of that. So someone in Joburg is just doing it for these people, right? But anyway, why is the real mayor of Johannesburg not being seen doing this? Why not? People in the comment section of some of the videos that I've watched are asking the same thing, that it's the second time Kenny has acted as mayor. And as soon as he acts, he's on top of this issue, right? He's on top of this issue aggressively. So, you know, I just wish the current mayor just gives Kenny the mandate to deal with this issue, and so that Kenny can focus on this issue, because he's passionate about this issue. You can tell. Obviously, he's a PA member, and the PA is really the only party that's really talking loudly about this issue. The DA somewhat. But all the other parties are really quiet. The IFP actually talks about it as well, let me be fair. But all the other parties, the EFF, obviously they want illegal immigrants to be here. They want that. That's their goal, you know. For what reason, I don't know, but that is their goal. Probably because their leader wants to be a hero in Africa and is willing to sacrifice South Africa to achieve that. Always remember that. That's why when the EFF decreases at the election, which is what happened in the national elections, I get very excited, very, very happy, you know. So yeah, guys, that's the thing. The inner cities need to be claimed. Students need to be there. Those places need to be bustling. Trade, students, low cost accommodation for people who work in government but get paid very little. Low cost accommodation. Or even if you don't work for the government, but if you get paid very, very little at your job, low-cost accommodation, those sort of things. And then crime needs to be alleviated. But you know what? I'm hopeful, man. There's an air of change in South Africa. And guys, remember, it destroying happens quickly. But building or fixing takes time, right? But just like a big ship turning, it turns very slowly because there's so much negative momentum currently, you see. But if you really look at it, if you take time and you aren't biased and you aren't negative, you will see that there is pressure on the state. And there's nothing that changes things faster than pressure. The ANC, you see, one thing about the ANC guys, I'll tell you that they don't want to be known as the people who collapsed the country, because they know they got a well-oiled machine in 1994. They don't want to be known as the people who literally turned the country into Zim. You see? So because of this pressure coming, because of Trump, right? Somewhat this G20 thing, but let's just say the US President Trump and the US administration currently. And remember one thing, when Trump leaves in 4 years, right? Just about 4 years from now, there's a very good chance that Republicans will win the election again, and JD Vance will probably be president. So it's going to be more of the same, more pressure still. It won't go away just because Trump leaves, because remember, it's Trump's second term, so you can't have a third one. But when JD Vance continues, and the probabilities are high that he'll continue, more pressure, you see. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, guys, that I'm really happy with the PA, happy with Kenny, and I'm happy to see what's happening in Johannesburg, them fighting this. In fact, if I lived there, I'd probably join them fighting with this illegal immigration thing. And then there's this channel, I think it's Reality something, that's showing PA members going around interacting with illegal immigrants in many different parts of Gauteng, and them documenting what's going on, right? There's this drive that they are on whereby they are literally going to hospitals and clinics, and they are blocking illegal immigrants from entering these hospitals and clinics. So happy to see that. Nurses in these hospitals and clinics are starting to make videos showing how empty the clinic and hospital is, because apparently most of the people who are using these services are illegal immigrants. You understand? So we need to drive that even more, drive it even deeper. That needs to happen in every single clinic and hospital in South Africa, because if they aren't getting services at that level, in other words, when they are sick, they aren't getting helped, boy, they'll feel the pressure to leave. They'll definitely feel the pressure to leave. They need to go pay at private hospitals, you see? So, no issue with legal immigrants. Absolutely no issue with legal immigrants. Doesn't matter what country you're from. I don't care what country you're from. But illegal immigrants, no ways. No ways. Illegal immigrants must go, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video, guys. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.